All right, a very good morning to you. It's good to see you right here on Your World. I know today we're not in the studio. We are actually on location and we are at the AIDS Healthcare Foundation Kenya clinic. All right, this is Madare Clinic. And of course, the reason why we're here today is to talk about something that honestly we should be talking about and should be addressed as immediately as now. And it's all about the condom shortage. And you know, this is not like a new story. All right, we've had the whole aspect about the shortage of condoms in the country for a very long time now, but now the situation is dire, and I will tell you how dire the situation is. All right, I mean, come with me. Okay, so this ideally is supposed to be a condom dispenser, but well, you know, if you needed something, there's literally nothing, and you can clearly see by the look of this dispenser how long you know, it must have been before any condom was put in there. So today it's all about the condom shortage in the country, and of course I have I mean, listen, we all know what these are, okay? And yeah, they are actually few, because we were talking with you know, the officials before we came on air, and they were saying, listen, these are actually one of the last batches that we have as far as, you know, condom distribution is concerned. So that tells you how dire the situation is. So what exactly is the problem? Why don't we have enough condoms in the country? Because as a country, we need 455 million condoms. How many do we have now? Around 150, but at the same time, that is still not enough. So 300 million shortage is not a small number. All right, so let's go in and get to understand what exactly is the issue, and you know, how soon, first of all, we'll have you know, condoms, and you know, what's the impact that is, you know, as far as to the people, to the young people, as far as condoms are concerned. All right, so come with me, let's get into the clinic. And of course, we also have a bunch of young people who will also, you know, talk to us as far as the situation and of course what exactly they need the most when it comes to reproductive health and also taking care of themselves as well. All right, so this is like a whole clinic, as you can see, quite busy, and of course you can see people who are walking by. Is the Africa King of Condom, which again we'll be talking to, and that beautiful lady over there in orange and pink, she is the queen of condoms. I mean, look at her, she looks really, really nice. But of course we'll talk to them. But before that, let's talk to you know, Mr. Stanley. All right, all those condoms, of course, it's important you know, for all of us to have. So with us to help us really understand how the situation is in the country, I am joined you know, by Dr. Samuel Kinyanjui, who is the Country Program Director at AIDS Healthcare Foundation, that is AHF Kenya. Dr. It's so good to have you this morning. First of all, thank you so much for sparing your time, you know, to be with us to talk about this very important issue, and that is condom shortage, right? So, of course, the first question that I will ask is, this is not the first time that we're talking about a shortage of condoms here in the country. How dire is the situation?
So thank you very much for coming to join us and to bring the attention of a very important topic to humanity. So the situation of condom supply is dire because, as you can what is happening is that the amount of condoms that used to be brought in have reduced significantly, maybe by more than 60%. Because of various reasons. Number one reason is the funding, because the funders were mainly PEPFAR, Global Fund, UNFPA, AIDS Healthcare Foundations have cut back on their funding. But for some of them, like AIDS Healthcare Foundation, the main reason is the taxation issue. But the reduction in the supply of free for distribution condoms. These are condoms that are brought in by partners, funded from procurement to clearance to distribution, and given for free to the end user. Those condoms are very limited now. Now only limited to the supply that the Kenya government is funding and Global Fund.
Okay.
As a result, you notice that there are more people. We can see the surge of STI, sexually transmitted infections in this country. We all remember about the big G people were talking about. the big gonorrhea, this is a phenomena that can be attributed to this shortage of condoms.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Amongst so many other STIs.
Yes.
And there's a report that was done by our colleague, and that is Leon Lidigu, just very recently. And I just want to get what exactly he said in the story. And he says Kenya needs at least 400 million condoms, right? And of course, this number is not new. We hear that at least. So we're talking about 455 million thereabout, right, of condoms that are needed. But we have close to 300 million shortage of condoms, or even more.
Yes.
Because these numbers vary.
Yes.
And sometime earlier this year, the health CS said, listen, there's no shortage of condoms. So it's like the figures are sort of like scattered. The ministry says, listen, no, we have enough condoms to distribute. In fact, we still have more that we need to distribute. On the other end, of course, clearly, when you go out and talk to the people, and Leon talked to a number of people, in Kisumu, in Migori, and even here in Nairobi, amongst so many other counties, and they're saying, we do not have condoms. So it's like, who is telling the truth and who is not?
Well, I cannot comment for the government's position. Yeah. The fact of the matter is that the condoms that are available in the annual budget, because those are public figures, are available to Global Fund. If you look at the Global Fund proposal that the country has already submitted, also the COP that they sent to PEPFAR is 160 million. So knowing that we are shooting for 400 plus, if you have 160, simple mathematics, it means that we are shortage of more than at least 240 million condoms on the minimum. This is assuming the 160, the government will have the funding to procure them. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So one of the things that we're talking about earlier on before we came on air is the fact that majority of the times you said taxation is a very, very big issue, when it comes to importing condoms. First of all, how much is being imported? How much, is being taxed for the same that impacts the distribution of the same?
In terms of taxation, I want to reiterate again, it's a major barrier to access. And what we're talking about is that we know that all of us in the society are not of the same, we don't have the same capacities in terms of resources. So there are people who don't care how much something costs, they can buy at whatever cost. There are people who can afford, but when it's like less than 50 shillings, there are people, even when it's 10 shillings, it's still expensive. Okay. So the whole idea is that taxation is being applied to condoms targeted at all levels of people in our society, the rich, the middle income, and the poor. The request for us is this: for market to work, we need to leave the top, like 10% of the market share to the premium distributors. The government can tax as much as they want there. Okay. The majority of Kenyans will fall between the 80 to around 30%. Then those ones, they can go for what we call socially marketed condoms. Okay. These ones also need to be tax-free, so that the price of importation, and the government can control the price at which they are sold, because they will know this is how much they are bought, this is the reasonable profit to keep the market going, and they can fix it. Okay. But the condoms for like 30% of the population, they need to be free for distribution. Why? Sexually transmitted infections is a public health, are conditions, are diseases of public health importance. Just like TB, just like COVID, we need to control them for the society to thrive. There is no society that can thrive when it's unhealthy. Yeah. You can't tell people to stay away from sexuality. It is a sense of humanity. Without it, there is no humanity.
Is that whole question about pleasure? So
pleasure
is that considered more of like a healthcare, concern, but more of pleasure, which should not be the case here.
It should not be the case.
Okay.
Because without sexuality, there will be no humanity. The other thing is that diseases of public health importance are more of a population approach more than an individual. So when you address, you put interventions that protect the society. Okay. That's why we immunize children from measles. We immunize children from other contagious diseases. Because without doing that, then it means we are going to lose that generation.
Okay.
And that's what happened. The other thing I'd like to point out is that condom is not just about sex.
Okay.
It is about preventing unplanned pregnancies, preventing teenage pregnancies, is about preventing STIs, is about preventing HIV, is about preventing other sexual transmission, including hepatitis. So a condom, per se, the return on investment is more than 50x. Waiting to treat, for example, any young person who gets STI, let's say at 20, for the next 40 years, they're going to be alive for 50 years. The government will be spending, on the minimum, 20,000 Kenya shillings per year to treat them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For the same individual, the government only need 1,000 shillings to invest if they were to give them free for distribution condom for the whole year. So which one is easier?
Prevention.
The investment the government is making on condom in control of STI and HIV, it is not a cost. It is an investment. It's like planting a tree that will going to give you yields year after year.
Okay.
It's like planting coffee or macadamia or a thing that gives you annual benefits.
Returns, yeah.
Failing to do this is waiting for a disaster.
Yeah.
And the disaster is this, because inflation is going up. So last year, we were buying ARVs at 20,000 per patient. This year, I'm sure it is going to go higher because issue of the dollar.
Yeah.
And the subsequent year, it may become even worse. And if they fail on treatment, the second line treatment doubles in cost.
That's true.
The third line treatment is over 70,000 per year. The government if you cannot afford the first line, we are depending also on donors. How will it afford when the number of people increase and the cost is escalating?
I see that. And let's just also point out how dire the situation is, because again, like we said, we are in the heart of Mathare. And what we've had, I mean, we're talking about, the AHF staff here who work here on a daily basis, and they're telling us, listen, here in Mathare, the surge in terms of teenage pregnancies, the cases are shooting. Right? Majority of the people here cannot afford to buy the premium condoms. So what do? Distribute the free condoms, but now they are not available. So what exactly does this mean, this shortage? And when we think about cases of teenage pregnancies, and of course, like you said, the spread of STIs.
The cases of STI, we started a small kind of approach last November, giving free STI screening and testing. And our numbers are going up every month. And they've not only gone up in this clinic, they've also gone up in our other clinic in Parklands, and we're seeing a lot of young people coming with STIs. It's almost approximately about 15. Any of the people who come, about 15% will be confirmed to have STIs. The numbers are going up, and in addition to the STIs, we're also seeing behind that also an increase in HIV. Our HIV numbers, new and young people getting HIV. We also, these people here, interestingly, is that we also provide porridge here. It was initially just meant for children. Okay. But now we have, from late last year, we have increased it from to every day, because we have some people who come for that porridge here every day. If they are coming here for porridge, some of them come with a container. They want to put a little for the family at home. How would they afford the condoms that used to go for 30 bob that are now more than 100 shillings? And we all know the situation of the economy. We all know that the jobs have also reduced, the number of doing any construction, the factories that are going on. So a lot of people are now jobless. So it is it's between meals and survival here. So condom does not feature, but the urge will come. The opportunities will come. And what will happen is that they will mess and they will become a liability to this government and the subsequent government for years to come. So there is no society that can hope to industrialize, to grow, to expand when the members of the societies are sick. Absolutely. Health and wealth are so interdependent. You cannot have one without the other. No wonder they're saying that wealth Health is wealth.
Absolutely, I hear you. And also, when we talk about poverty, I mean, like we're saying, teenage pregnancy, of course, that can, the trickle effect.
Yes.
This came from maybe this girl, for example, could not afford to get sanitary towel,
Yes.
goes, someone lures them into sex,
Yes.
and before that, before they even get the sanitary towel, they're already pregnant, some of them, right? Others would contract, the sexually transmitted illnesses. So it's like a whole ball game. It's not just distribution of condoms. There was a time we used to hear cases of people using expired condoms,
Yes.
and others have to recycle
The wash.
condoms.
Yes.
Is it that bad?
Yes, actually that picture was taken, I wish you would find the team to take you down the other side, just a place they call car wash down that side. That's where they were. They could actually wash and hang them to air. But after they've been washed, the condoms are no longer, the viability cannot
Yeah.
cannot, no one can vouch for its viability. It's no longer useful. But it's out of desperation.
Yeah.
We also need to remember that one of the other things that's very critical is keeping the girl in school, because that delays the sexual debut, delays the opportunity for them to be lured into sex. And one of the other ways, I am happy the government has put in money for sanitary towel in this year's budget. My prayer is that that money will be used for that purpose. My next thing is that they will also remember private school in the informal sector. A lot of the time, the private school in the informal sector are ignored. They've never received one sanitary towel, even in the past round.
Yeah.
And therefore, for HF, there are 2 schools who've been providing sanitary towels for the last 2 years. And we give them to keep every girl in school. Now we give 2 to make sure that she gets, and maybe she has a sister at home.
I mean, that's true, yeah.
Yes, who can benefit
We've had
from
a lot
this.
of stories
It
of
takes
people sharing,
100 shillings. One Kenyan 100 shillings is enough to buy 2 sanitary towels per month.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people who may want to contribute, just keeping your bread for one day.
That's true.
Skipping that bread for one day is even healthy for you. Because staying away from
Stay
wheat
away
is
from
also
wheat.
important. Yes, it's good. Skipping
see
that
that.
bread is healthy, but
Yeah.
you're also using the money for a greater purpose.
Absolutely.
Keep your girl in school, keep them, and then when you educate that one girl, goes past primary to secondary, she gets even a little bit of tertiary education, you transform her entire family. And that's the way to break this cycle you mentioned, the cycle of poverty.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, it goes round, and it does not select and say, I'm just going to visit the family today, and then that's it. It
No.
goes all
Round
the way.
and round.
All right. Can we also address the whole question about quality? Because there's also been a lot of conversations around some of the condoms that we have, in the country are not of good quality, and it's because there is shortage. So people will just come up with whatever it is just to make sure that there are condoms, but the quality sometimes is not.
For quality, I'd like to put some thumbs up for the Kenya Bureau of Statistics and the Public and the Pharmacy and Poisons Board.
Okay.
In our practice over the last 5 years, we've not come across a brand out there of condoms that failed quality, unless they may have been sneaked from neighboring countries. The brands that are in operation, the condoms that are in circulation in the country, I would recommend people to use them because they are of good quality. We've not had an issue with quality. KEMSA, they've also done a good job in ensuring that the condoms, the sure condoms from government are of good quality. So I'd encourage the people, get the condoms and use them, and use them consistently.
Okay.
You'll be safe.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And some of those that had a bit of an issue were recalled back. I remember, last year or the year before, the batches were actually, and of course an alert was put out for people to be.
The condoms that had an issue were actually from Uganda. They were the ones who had an issue. There is a batch that had come to KEMSA, but was never released from KEMSA because it had an issue. That's why I'm saying I'm putting them that to the organization for holding them onto them and not letting them go into the market. So
yeah, okay. So then talk about, for example, HIV and AIDS, right? Because
yes.
like you're saying, it's not just about distributing condoms.
Yes.
It goes way, beyond that. The fact that we are sort of experiencing the shortage, and it's not a new phenomenon. I mean, in 2021, 2022, we were still talking about, condom shortage in the country. Has that sort of influenced the numbers in terms of we're seeing a spike in the numbers, and especially among the young people, which we'll be talking to them, in just a moment. But among the young people, and especially between ages 15 and 24, is where we're seeing a lot of, a rise in terms of infection. So I don't know how much of an impact this shortage has caused, especially when you're talking about HIV and AIDS.
I think there are several factors, but definitely the shortage in the free-for distribution has contributed to the increase in not only new HIV infection, but the great wave we are seeing of STI. And it's to interest you to note that the age of sexual debut
Yes.
is as low as around 10 for girls and 11, 12 for boys. Yeah. So the other things that we need to do besides condoms, I think it's time that we agree as a country to introduce comprehensive sexual education. Okay. I'm talking, and I'm emphasizing the word education.
Education, yeah.
Because if we do not let our children learn the truth from a source of that they can trust, like their teacher, like a religious leader, like another member of the society, they will be trained by their own people. They will be given misinformation. They will be told to do experiments, and they will end up with this engaging premature sex. Okay. Their bodies are not ready for it. It interferes with even their development. And the teenage pregnancy actually stunts the girl, because once she becomes pregnant, she may never grow taller. It stunts the girl, interferes with her development. So I think it's time we get that conversation. Okay. A lot of the older generation, we had an opportunity to have grandfathers, grandmothers, aunties at home who would talk to us about this thing. That one is broken. We must find a substitute for it, an alternative that works for it.
Absolutely.
And I think we trust our religious leaders, we trust our parents, but our parents are not able to do it. But we trust our teachers. Why don't we want to trust our teachers? Our teachers train our children, educate our children in all other ways. Why don't we want to equip them and trust them to educate our children? Also understand about their sexuality, about themselves, and how to say, when to say no, how to say no, and when things are supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, I know I need to let you go, and we also need to go on a bit, but very quickly,
yes,
to then solve this whole shortage situation as far as condoms are concerned. What is it that you would say very quickly in like 30 seconds before we go on a break, and also before we let you go?
The intervention is one. Okay. Total market approach. Okay. When we are talking total market approach, we are talking to the government. The premium condoms, tax them.
Okay.
The socially marketed condom, no tax, so that they will be affordable. Then no tax for the free for distribution condoms, to make sure that the lowest of the low can access them and use them consistently. We need to leave no man behind.
I like that.
Thank you
I like
very much.
that. Dr. Samuel Kinyanjui, Country Program Director, AIDS Healthcare Foundation Kenya, or AHF Kenya, also giving us insight as far as the whole shortage and of course what we really need to do, because again, like we said, at the end of the day, it's not just about distributing condoms, it's a whole lot than that. All right, so let's take a break, but of course we are not ending the show here. We still have to talk to the king, Africa King of Condoms, as well as the Africa Queen of Condoms, and also young people as well, in terms of what are some of their biggest challenges and how do we get to that level where we have enough condoms for everyone in the country. So see you after the short break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. The show is Your World, and like I said, today we are addressing the condom shortage. All right, and of course we're here on the ground to speak to the people so that they really tell us what are some of the biggest challenges in terms of accessing condoms and, of course, the impact of the same. And, of course, earlier on we were talking to, Dr. Stanley, but now, not Stanley, Stanley, see, I'm confusing their names, but Africa King of Condoms is here, Stanley Ngara, also known as the Africa King of Condom. It's so good to have
the only one in Africa.
Like
oh my God!
Okay, not a hat. What is it called? Do you see? It's not the normal hat.
Yes.
It's the
It's the King of Condom attire.
King of Condom.
Full attire.
I mean, I really like your attire. I really do. But we're in sync. Because I have
red is the power.
Yes.
Red is all about power and love.
Yeah. And of course, I'm so curious about your story and when, first of all, you came into this field, and this is empowering people, passing all the awareness out there, as far as HIV and AIDS, as well as sexually transmitted infections, and why it's important for people to take care of themselves and prevent cases of the same. But before that, let's talk to the Queen of Condoms. We hear a lot about the King of Condoms, but we have a Queen of Condoms as well. Sharon Mudhoni, again, you're here this morning to help us with this. So how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine.
I really like your attire. Like, memo kidogo buy something else. But you look lovely.
My crown.
Right?
Yeah.
It really is. You look absolutely fantastic. So can we just first of all get to understand your journey? When did you get into this? Why was it important for you to, first of all, then I look at your crown. You're the Queen of Condom. I'm curious because it's up here. Yes, this one. My feature, we can't see it. It's beautiful. Yeah. So what happened? When did you get into this? When did you get your crown?
So, of course, Stanley was the one who crowned me the queen. Yeah, that was in Kenyatta University. An alumni. And it was during the World AIDS Day, 2021. And I'm very passionate about helping the young people when it comes to HIV infections, preaching safe sex. Yeah.
And I like that because majority of the times we tend to assume that young people, and especially for the parents, they're assuming that their children are not engaging in intercourse, but yet the story is absolutely different. So to have a young person to tell the people, listen, in as much as maybe you want to or you have to, then make sure you practice safe sex. Okay, I'll come back to you for more. But to the person who crowned you,
yes.
Wow. Let's go back, right?
Yes.
When did you start, the whole campaign as far as practicing safe sex is concerned, but at the same time just,
21 years ago.
21 years ago?
Yes.
2 decades?
Yes.
More than?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really love what I do. It's a passion.
Yeah.
And I'm able to identify people who have the same passion. I crown them. I have a lot of queens and princes that do this. And I've done it because I have a history.
Okay.
Because a lot of my friends died of HIV/AIDS in 1990s.
Oh, wow.
And that is the time that when HIV is mentioned, when one person dies of HIV, a list will be generated that this person had sex with so and so. And I was mentioned in 2 or 3 places because by then I was a teenie. And I lived believing that I'm HIV positive. So when self-testing started in Kenya, I was among the first people to do testing.
Okay.
Then I was employed by the organization that started. That time was HAPAC, to be a champion in mobilizing people to know their HIV status.
Yeah.
Then it got in my nerves, and here I am today.
Okay.
Yes.
I really like that. And looking at the situation now, of course, things have changed over time.
Yes.
There's a lot of stigma, back then. Even just talking about the act, right? Intercourse in itself, it was a taboo. You don't talk about it.
Yes.
But now we're seeing more and more people, even parents and teachers as well, and even introducing sex education in school. Now we're seeing a lot of information, but still, it is not enough. There's some people who are not, aware of, first of all, the impact of not practicing safe intercourse, right? So how dire is the situation? Because you talk to a lot of young people, you talk to, the entire population, not just the young people, but what is it that they see as far as, sexual reproductive health?
One, I have to appreciate you people for coming and agreeing to talk about sex openly. Because Africa, we don't talk about sex, but we do a lot of sex. There's a lot of activities happening, even now, as we are talking here.
This hour.
This hour. And by the end of the day, somebody will be infected, somebody will get pregnant. We have a lot of teeny pregnancy, the youngest being 14. We have started a big campaign called Linda Malisafi. These are young people. They are clean. They don't do anything. So we are protecting HIV, we are protecting drugs, we are protecting pregnancy, we are protecting abortions, we are protecting SGBV. They are sexually abused. You know, we cannot keep quiet. We must talk, and we'll talk, and we have to talk. Now, it is up to us to allow our young generation to be finished by sex. Because sex was created by God, and it is good, and everybody loves it. And that's why people are in relationship, because of it, through God. But it is causing damages to us. Yes.
All right. If not practiced safely.
Safely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And now that we're talking about condom shortage, I really want to hear your opinion on this. First of all, does that make you sad? Because this is what you do. This is you're spreading, awareness of the same. But now there is no condoms to distribute. So do you sometimes feel like doing coffee yako?
I'm really suffering. If Kenyans can know how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Because COVID, I didn't do a lot of supply because of COVID.
Yeah.
Then this crisis that is happening. Then we have shortage of condom. Now we have even come up. I imported condoms from Thailand that I can sell at an affordable cost of 50 shillings, you know.
Okay.
And I can't be able to sell because of taxation.
Yeah.
The tax money is now in our bedroom. You can imagine. The KRA is in our bedroom. It's crazy.
We do not need the tax money.
No, we don't need tax money in our bedroom.
I see that. I see that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's a shortage of condom, and I don't know where people are realizing the teeny pregnancy. I go to schools through Linda Malisafi, and I have a group of teeny mothers, the youngest being 14. By the way, I can invite you to see them. They're not going to school. They don't want to go to school because the burden of bringing up children. So we are helping them to start small businesses like selling eggs, mandazi, and I got some donation from UNFPA. I'm giving them pads. They can't even afford a pad. I was given a sewing machine by Safaricom. I'm helping them to generate something. And there are so many, but nobody cares about them because they have never seen them. And because it have not happened to your daughter, you don't care.
Yeah. And that's not right. So we need to do something.
We need to do
Let me talk
something.
to the Queen of Condoms as well.
Yes.
Because again, being a young girl, right? A young person who has taken upon herself to make sure that you educate, you empower, you talk to the young girls. What are some of the biggest challenges that, when interacting with, young girls, young ladies, what are some of the major challenges that they talk to you about?
Well, you find that most men don't really embrace the concept of condoms, and you'll find that the lady is the one taking the initiative. Like, okay, I'll talk about my campus experience. Like, in campus, you find that we give free condoms, and you find that when you're walking along the paths and the hostels, you find that the males will tend to shy away from picking the condoms, and the females are like, we are protecting ourselves. So yeah, those are some of the challenges, because you expect the boy child is the one who is protecting you. Yeah.
Make sure they protect themselves and protect you.
Yeah.
But now they're not doing that. They are shy, like you say. Majority of them are shy. Why are they shy? Is it because of the stigma, or what exactly is happening?
Well, we find that most of the communities, they don't talk openly about sex. So you'll find, as a lady who is preaching about condoms, somebody will tend to feel like, I might be judging them, like, you're giving me a condom? I can go and pick it for myself, but we are going a step further to make sure that you always have a condom in your pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you go around just giving girls, boys, whoever you meet, on the road, and talk about why it is important to practice sex? Or do you sort of like have a kikao and then sit down and talk about HIV and AIDS and all these other STIs and why it's important for people to practice safe sex and, all those things?
Okay, we used to have condom distribution Tuesdays. That is in KU, as I said earlier. And we sit as a group. We say, today we are going to move to this hostel, distributing condoms, putting the condoms in the condom dispensers. Yeah.
Okay. But is that happening now? Because even when we were coming in today, there is a dispenser over there at the gate, and there are no condoms over there. So I don't know how it is, in where you you work, study.
Initially, the condoms were really accessible, but at the moment, it's been a big challenge. Like the officers in charge of distributing the condoms, you go there and they're like, we have a shortage of condoms.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you don't have any to distribute as of now?
They're just few. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then what are some of, what extents sometimes do you have to go just to make sure that then you're still able to distribute? Do you find yourself sometimes going into your pockets, get your own money, get condoms to distribute, or, what length have you gone to make sure that at least, even if you're not able to distribute like hundreds and thousands of the same, but at the very moment you're able to distribute some?
Well, I usually have a side stock for myself. Yeah, and when somebody comes to me and they're like, I really need a condom, I'll just give them.
I really like that. Listen, safety first. It starts with you before you distribute to someone else. I like that. Okay. And to you, the majority of the times, and a few years ago, probably even until now, we saw a lot of parents, expressing displeasure in the fact that we are talking about condoms openly. Condoms are being distributed, openly, because majority of them felt it's like giving their children a leeway to go and be promiscuous, right? So I'm just curious, you in your line of duty, do you find this is a major challenge where you go talk to people, to the young people, but you face some sort of resistance? Because like you said, we don't talk about these things openly.
I can say I've been really stigmatized.
Okay.
And people feel that sometimes I promote sex. And I tell people, if you carry an umbrella and it's not raining and it's not sunny, you can't carry an umbrella.
Yeah.
You carry an umbrella in a season, rainy season, or very sunny or hot season. So anybody who comes for condom have a purpose with a condom.
Okay.
And people are sexually active. And we cannot deny that. And the purpose of condom is just for 3 purposes. You protect an intended pregnancy, you protect STI, and HIV.
Okay.
So if you know yourself, it is not that the introduction of condom was brought as if it was for sex workers only. So any person you see with a condom, you feel negative about and negative attitude. But there's some people who have chosen to use condom as a family planning only. They don't want to get any other injection but use condom. And there are so many. And when they buy condom, right now they can't afford. We have condom. You compare the unga and condom. You say, better I go with unga because it's almost the same price. And I feel that we, as a country, we need to do something different. And the different thing is the government don't get into our bedroom affairs.
Okay.
The tax man.
Okay.
We get reduced condom, the tax to be reduced, and also the budget. The government have reduced the budget of family planning. It was 1.2 billion. Right now is 1 billion. And also, the same government enjoyed the monopoly and the vote of the young people. Young people are sexually active, and they need condom. If they can at least make them happy and give them a reward by them assessing condom, sometimes they get embarrassed.
Yeah.
When I walk on the street, I don't have condom, even people bull me. I feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
If you go to country bars, you go to the public toilet.
The king of condoms,
yes, and I don't have the condom.
Like, I don't have.
And when I go to buy, I'm not vying for any polity position, so I can't buy and give them. I'm looking for donors, who can help me and sponsors to to buy condoms and we give to the community because it is our same community that we are saving.
That was suffering.
Yes.
I see that. I see that. But I also want to hear from you, Sharon. Do you also sometimes feel stigmatized? And especially when you go talk to the community, they're like, "Well, do you feel that sometimes? Or judged, maybe?
Sometimes I do feel judged, but then I'm like, these are things that are happening. It's the reality. We can't avoid reality. It's the high time that we start talking openly about sex. And I really like our generation because they are really embracing that. Yeah, so judgment is just a little bit. Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
But you have to go above and beyond just to make sure that young people are safe. Okay. So far, and I know it might be difficult to put like a number in terms of the people that sort of like helped, talked to, and all those things. But how much of an impact would you say your position now in terms of talking to the young people, talking about how it is important for them to practice safe sex and also distributing condoms, how much of an impact would you say that has made on and especially the young girls who are really more vulnerable? Boys are too, but girls are more vulnerable.
Well, to be honest, I think I've created a lot of impact because the young people want to see a young person talking to them. Yeah, and the moment I give somebody a condom, I'll tell them. We have the AIDS Control Club in Kenyatta University, so you can join us. We openly talk about sex, mental health, and all that.
This is my mind racing. I'm just curious to understand what is it that they say about sex, about intercourse, because again, like we said earlier on, some of this conversation we would never have them. It was taboo. Don't even think about it. But then you get to universities, you get to colleges, even high schools, and especially those funkies, the things that happen there. Yeah. So what is it that they say? Is it more of they look at it from a taboo aspect, or is it, we're curious, we want to explore, but even if we do so, what are some of the measures that we need to take to protect ourselves?
In campus, the people embrace sex talks because you find that is the stage where someone is getting to learn more about themselves, so they'll tend to explore. So if you go to them with such kind of information, they will definitely appreciate it.
I like that. All right, and of course, like we said, we also have like a bunch of young people. They are behind me. They're very busy. But I will be curious to talk to them, as well, and just get to understand what their position is. What is it that they want to see different? Because again, like we said, and King of Condom says, listen, first of all, taxman, stay out of our bedrooms. But at the same time, what is their position? So just allow me to go just, behind there so I can speak to them and get to hear what, they are saying. Hey, your outfit, Queen of Condoms. I really, really like it. After this, we need to talk because it looks amazing. But thank you so much, guys, first of all, for agreeing to speak with us this morning. Do you want to just start with your name and then tell us about how you feel about this whole shortage, of condoms in the country?
Thank you so much. Majina nazatumia Kiswahili.
Yes.
Majina ni Tiffany Njeri. Hii kitu ya shortage like inatu lead to risks kama mtu unaona sasa inakuwa na difficulties kama pesa. So unaenda kutafuta yenye iko cheap kama kuna place zinauzwa zina recycle, so unazitumia. So hiyo ina lead to risks.
Okay. So wewe kama like you as an individual, umesema most of the time unajipata unaenda kutafuta ile cheap, ile iko available, at least ndio ujisaidie. Ni nini unaogopa sana when you think about zile, the cheap ones that unaweza tu pata hapa na pale, and even ukikosa, ni nini nakutia uoga sana? Is it pregnancy?
Pregnancy na pade.
The way she is like, yes.
Pregnancy hapo kwanza. Na nini na STIs.
Okay, pregnancy na STIs. Okay, Asante sana. I'll come back to you, but let me hear what you have to say. Tell us your name and what you feel about the condom shortage and how it may impact wewe as an individual. First of all, your hair is nice.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Brenda Jepchumba. So hii shortage imeleta harm to the society kwa sababu unapata rate ya pregnancy iko juu, maneno ya STIs iko juu pia, na most penye nakaa ni unapata most wana engage into prostitution, na unapata wako at high risk of getting infected with gonorrhea and all the other STIs. So ningeajua tusaidie sana tupate hizi condom because the society is really suffering of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wewe as an individual umekuwa impacted aje? I mean, has it ever been a time umeenda unatafuta condom party? Yeah, how have you been impacted directly with the fact that hatuna condoms in the country?
Okay, for me, okay, unapata nimekuja hapo kwa facility nimeuliza condom, so unajua siku hizi kuna kuchila, kuna kuabstain, ni uongo. Yeah, ni ukweli. So nakuja, so nile niko at least ya kufanya sex na kuwa like, oh, ndo hii mimba, ndo hii STIs, na ningoja na kuwa show naogopa like sitaki hizo maneno.
Okay, hakuna kuchill.
Kuchill.
All right.
So my name is Peter Wanziru. I am from an organization called Florist Club Initiative, and it's a youth-led organization where we normally deal with prevention of HIV and condom promotion. So we were partnering with HF most of the time. They were giving us condoms, and we take it to the community. But since the shortage started, we have been having a lot of issues with the community, because we had gathered many youth groups in the community where we are taking them, maybe we give them this amount of condom, maybe a lot of them. So when we have started experiencing this shortage, they have been scrambling all over. Even when we get maybe one box, it is chaos. Yeah. They are coming even to scramble. Maybe they get one piece each. And you know, even if you give a person one piece, maybe he'll use it on one shot. The next one, he will go So it has been really a challenge to us, even trying to explain to them that there is a shortage somewhere. Okay. And if you tell them to go and buy this, you start asking, will I go and buy unga, or will I buy condoms? So most of them, they are having a lot of challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then this goes to show how much of a problem, this is to the community. Okay. So two more. We literally have like 2 minutes. So
my name is Emiliana Aura. So kwa hii situation ya shortage, unapata kwa slums, hadi mayouth inafika mahali wanasema hadi tutumie polythene bags zetu tukaratasi. Unasema mtu anakuambia amekuita date tukatai tuna date, ndio, lakini bwana anakuja anakuambia nitakubaia unga food ama, so unapata anatumia polythene bag. Hiyo ni risky kwa dem. Inaweza like kwa mauko ndani kose kutoka, hiyo ni like situation nyingine mbaya kwa msichana. Alafu another thing pia bado mtu hata kana anatumia the recycled one, unapata mtu hata imekuwa busted ama imefanya, unapata mtu apata ball, mtu akienda kumiskaru unapata ina lead to death. So bado inatusumbua sisi kama mavijana, so lazima wa intervene ndani watusaidie kidogo.
And I really like the fact that you're pointing that out, because that is the reality on the ground. We've seen a lot of people who had to reuse, like you're saying, and that is not even safe. And to hear, the whole aspect about polythene, no, that's not really good. Okay.
Yes, my name is Joseph Otieno. I'm in youth hapa area. Mimi kitu nataka kuongelea kwanza ni uoga. Actually ndio nitameja sana. Tumezoea tukikuja hapa mtu akipita anaona hiyo, I think mkiingia mmeona kuna nini hapo ya kuweka condom. Sasa mtu ni dispenser ya condom, mtu anakuja anachukua naweka. So piga hesabu, niko na mechi. Nataka kwenda kwa chemist kuchukua CD. Umepata pale kuna watu 5 ama 4. Nikiuliza unataka nini? Ngoja tukaza waende. Unaona? Sasa hiyo uoga inafanya hata tunataka sasa jamaa anasema naambia DM acha tukafanya alafu tutafanya withdrawal. Unaona? So inakuwa shida sana.
And also it puts someone at risk again, like we said, it's not just about pregnancy, but also other STIs. Okay, guys, allow me to, I'll come back to you, but the king of condoms has something to show us very quickly. I can see a number of here. This is the community.
Yes, and we want to see how HIV is spreading.
Okay.
And I want to start with this one. Let's see. This is Sharon and the boyfriend.
Very quickly, like 10 seconds.
The boyfriend have a Ben-10, has a mother here. He's having a boyfriend there. And then the young girl has the landlord here. The landlord is having another lady here. This is the chain of HIV. And all of us are connected. And then this, yes. And then this is a pastor. This is a choir master. This is the, we also having men having sex with men. The keyboard, yes, there's Ken wa keyboard ako hapa. And you hapa. You get it? Yeah. And this chain, if we are all connected in one year there, this is the MCA going with the university student here. You know, they are very good dancer in a talent show. This is the sex worker in the street, you know, we are all connected. This is the principal. You can imagine if we are all engaged into sex and we are not protecting ourselves, we are going to find even our daughters and our son in this group. Our community is sharing, they are eating from one pool. If we don't use condom, all of this, if one person is infected and you are not using condom, the whole community will be infected.
And definitely something that we do not want.
More than one sexual partner and you're not using condom, even the other one is not using condom, and we must protect our nation. Yes.
And I like that. And of course, the fact that we also spoke to young people who are here with us today, and they're saying, listen, give us condoms, okay? The whole mature abstaining is literally not working. So give us condoms. That is what the young people are saying. I have to say thank you so much, guys, for coming and, of course, to speaking to us this morning. Thank you so much, King of Condoms. Thank you so much, Queen of Condoms, for also speaking with us. I know I would wish to speak to all of you, but now time is not on our side, so allow us to say goodbye. But asanteni sana. And, of course, enjoy the rest of your day. Think about it, the fact that we need condoms right here in the country. But, again, even as we say goodbye, do not go too far, because today is World Music Day. And, of course, I know we all love to dance, we all love to listen to music, because it is, again, like they say, language, right? It is, what does that say? Music is the language of the soul, right? I think. And of course it is, it unites all of us. So Nation FM, our very own Nation FM, have prepared something really good for you. And of course today from around 10 AM thereabout, it will be all about music throughout the day. So enjoy the day, enjoy music, but at the same time, if you have to, make sure that you practice safe sex. All right, so it is goodbye right here from us on the team of Your World. Until next time, goodbye. I want you to model for us, hey, hey. As we finish this over, thank you so much. I am so sorry I could not speak to all of you, and I know you have a lot to say. But